Hi, Karen.
Natalis.
Hello.
Hey, long time no see.
I know. How are you?
Good. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Shall we get started?
I think so. I think we're good.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the June 28th Continuum of Care meeting. How many of you can believe it is already June? And how many of you have been happy for the somewhat, have you noticed when we have the Memorial holiday and even like through June, doesn't it seem like it's been a little bit cooler than normal? I think it's been nice. You know, it's like some people are like, where's summer? But it gets hot enough soon enough. So I've really been enjoying the cooler weather. But
so
I do believe,
because you said that, now it'll be 110 or 120. You just jinx it.
well, I think starting next weekend, it's gonna get warmer. So here probably like 90, 95, but for you guys probably a little bit hotter, right, Linda, out in Indio and Palm Springs? So, all right.
I was just in my car and it's 98.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's nice and cool.
Okay, if we want to go ahead and dive into the meeting, Josh, let's take us to the first slide. Ooh, I'm so excited today. We have a number of new members, and so what I'd like to do at this time is I'm going to mention the name of the new members, and if you are here representing that organization, will you do me two favors? One, introduce yourself and tell everybody what your organization does and the services that you provide. And then if you don't mind, for the benefit of the rest of the Continuum of Care members, put your contact information in the chat. And I am doing this at the suggestion of our lovely Vice Chair Michelle Davis, who thought it would be nice if you all took a moment to do that because we're so excited that we have so many new members. So thank you, Michelle, for the great suggestion. Let's go ahead and start with Illumination Foundation. Do we have anybody in the house representing Illumination Foundation today as a new member? Okay. How about Women Strengthening Women? Oh, I like that. Anybody from Women Strengthening Women?
Karen?
Yes.
The two first agencies, Illumination Foundation is a recuperative care program administrator here in the city of Riverside. They operate 50 recuperative care beds. So I'll try to get their contact information, send it out to the membership. And then Women Strengthening Women are doing outreach here in the city of Riverside and focusing in the Ward 4 area, which is the Casablanca area.
Yes, and actually I think Illumination Foundation is in multiple counties doing post-hospital recuperative care. So, you know, they started with you guys. I'm not sure if they have a footprint anywhere else in Riverside County, but thank you for that. And tell me again what Women and Strengthening Women do, Michelle?
They do street outreach, but also with a focus on domestic violence. So I hope they'll be at the next meeting and can kind of give an overview of what their day-to-day activities are.
Nice. Okay.
And to add, Charlene Hernandez and I have been in contact. She's a Women Strengthening Women, and she's expressed interest in applying for some CoC funding that we have when it becomes available too. So hopefully we'll see them as a new provider and funded agency.
Awesome. All right. How about Operation Grace? Is there anybody here from Operation Grace? Michelle, do you know anything about Operation Grace? That must be no. Well, I know one thing, we could all use a little more grace. So I happen to like the name of that organization. So, okay.
I know a little bit about them.
Who's that?
Ayako.
Ayako, let's hear from you. Okay.
So, Mary Arson Community Housing, we have tried to work with them in the past, but they're out of the city of San Bernardino. They are a church that operates social services for vulnerable families and homeless. They do own and operate, oh gosh, maybe a dozen or so housing units, and they're looking to build more housing, but they are what we would consider a social services, wraparound services provider.
Nice job. Thank you for
They
that.
were the ones that were on the other link.
Oh,
Yeah, and I did send it to her, so I'm not sure if maybe she's coming on in a little bit.
okay. Well, if you, Emma, if you happen to notice that happens, we'll stop and give her time on the agenda, okay? All right. Anybody from Cascade Sunrise Development Corporation? Okay. How about the City of Palm Springs? Greg, do we know who from the city joined?
It should be Roman Ruiz. He
Oh,
was
okay.
previously with the city of Banning and is now with the city of Palm Springs. And him and I met actually late last week. I mean, we've known each other for a couple months now, but just to review some of the work that he's doing in Palm Springs and starting up, and it's all pretty exciting. So next time we see him on here, we'll have to give him some time to introduce himself to those who don't know him already and let us know some things that are going on in the city of Palm Springs.
He may join a little late because they've got a navigation center meeting going on right now as we speak. So
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. Okay, Inland Housing Solutions. Do we have anybody from Inland Housing Solutions?
Marcela Monzo with Inland Housing Solutions. Our organization has been around for over 30 years in the county of San Bernardino. We are located in Loma Linda physically. We are doing business with various funding sources, both federal and state funding, anywhere from continuum of care dollars to ESG dollars. Currently, our newest contracts have been IHP and Housing Authority with San Bernardino County. So we run part of the community supports program for both Riverside and San Bernardino County. That's why we're getting connected here. And then we are doing the housing choice vouchers for the Housing Authority in San Bernardino. We also run for the last 6 years the Housing Search and Navigation Stabilization Team for the whole for San Bernardino County for their continuum of care. So we help individuals or a lot of organizations match them into units and find open leads and send them to our providers to be able to assist with navigation. Our biggest role of services right now is rapid rehousing through our continuum of care. Our focus has been family and children for the last 8 years, and recently opened it to single adults in the area in San Bernardino. Now we're doing rapid rehab, well, a form of very short-term rapid rehousing for IHP right now. So hopefully that grows, and we're looking forward to being part of the team for Riverside County. Thank you.
Well, that's awesome. Like a whole menu of services that you guys provide. Are you currently funded and providing any services in Riverside County, or is your goal to expand your footprint and start doing that?
Currently, we do provide services through the IHP contract since January 2022, but we've been partnering with various agencies throughout the last 5 years, like Brilliant Corners and Step Up in the past, and also provided housing and search in Riverside County just as a subcontractor, pretty much. But right now, first time that we jumped into Riverside County was a year ago.
Is that a CalAIM contract that you have?
Yes, for community
Okay.
support. And we also run when they're IHP 3H members. We kind of got that program grandfathered in for San Bernardino County.
Great.
So we have a couple people in there.
Welcome. Well, into the new members, I'm sure that the county team already told you this, but in case you didn't know, so to transition from being a new member to a voting member, you just need to attend 3 consecutive meetings and then be officially appointed by the head of your organization. And you can appoint a primary and an alternate, and then be a part of the voting block. So for those of you that are members and want to move to voting members, you can coordinate with Josh for the paperwork for that, or you can email coc@rivco.org. So speaking of, let's transition to agenda item. And I jumped in and didn't even let you do roll call, Josh. Sorry, I was so excited about the new members. After I introduce the new voting member, then we'll go back to you for roll call, okay?
Sounds
You're
great.
so gracious. New voting member, Elder Love USA. I love it. Is anybody here from Elder Love USA?
Yep, Shannon Shea from Elder Love USA.
Great. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the services that your organization provides?
Sure, we are a nonprofit in-home caregiving agency serving low to moderate income seniors here in Coachella Valley. We try to help those that don't qualify for IHSS because they make $1 more than the poverty level, but don't have enough money to pay some of the larger for-profit organizations.
That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, are you guys already partnering with Office on Aging?
No, but we're wanting to partner with Office on Aging, San Bernardino County, IHP, Molina, all of them. Like we are ready. We're ready to serve and expand.
Okay, well, that's important. Definitely put your contact information in the chat and continue to participate in these meetings. Don't be shy, ask questions. We're here to support you and help you to build capacity. The more people at the table to collaborate and provide services, the better quality of life we're going to have. So welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
super excited. You know, the county has a focused initiative on ending senior homelessness. So the county staff can even tell you more details about the different components of that initiative.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome again to all of the new members and voting members. And Josh, forgive my exuberance. I'll turn it back to you to do roll call now.
Thank you, Karen. As Karen mentioned about the voting rights, we also have an updated membership application. Some of you may have used it already, but I put the link in the chat, and basically it just gives us information regarding your agency, the services provided, and who would represent your agency. So please, if you haven't already, fill that out, and then I'll follow up with an email. For now, we're going to do roll call for the voting members. So those organizations that have attended 3 meetings in a row. If you don't hear your name, please just send me an email on the side or to coc@rivco.org, and I can kind of look into past attendance and membership applications, and we can get you started there. But I'll just go down the list of our current voting members. Do we have anybody from Alternatives to Domestic Violence?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
It's Gary Ann. I'm here.
Thank you. Brilliant Corners.
Yeah, afternoon. This is Tyler Fong from Brilliant Corners.
Thank you, Tyler. Catholic Charities.
Good afternoon. This is Maria with Catholic Charities.
Thank you, Maria. Do we have Gina from Caches?
Yes, I am here.
Very nice to see you, Gina. CityNet. City of Banning. City of Eastville. City of Hemet.
Veronica Allen here for City of Hemet.
Thank you, Veronica. City of Lake Elsinore. City of Menifee.
Good afternoon, Edna LeBron with City of Menifee.
Thank you, Edna. City of Moreno Valley. City of Marietta. City of Aruba Valley.
Yes, I'm here, Amy Sells.
Thank you, Amy. City of Palm Desert.
Yes, I'm here, Jason Austin.
Thank you, Jason. City of Paris.
Hi, Sarah here, City of Paris.
Thank you, Sarah. City of Riverside.
Michelle Davis present. Good afternoon.
Thank you. City of San Jacinto or Park Outreach.
Hey, Josh, Robin here.
Thanks, Robin. Coachella Valley Association of Governments. Coachella Valley Rescue Mission.
Jesus Rodriguez is here.
Thank you. Community Health Association Inland Southern Region.
This is Brianna.
Thank you, Brianna. Verona Norco Region.
Yes, Karen Roper. And Josh, do you mind changing the secondary to Chance Broom? There was a letter that was
Yes.
sent. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? It's funny. I looked at it about an hour ago.
Thank you.
Of course. Department of Public Social Services.
Good afternoon, Renee Hexted here.
Thank you, Renee. Desert AIDS Project.
Good afternoon, Josh. Monica Atchison.
Thank you, Monica. Appreciate it. Desert Health Care District. Faith in Action. Family
Hello.
Promise of Rivers. Oh, I'm sorry.
Faith
So-
in
oh,
Action
Carol.
is, yeah, Faith in Action is here, Carol Albaum.
I see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Family Promise of Riverside. First 5 Riverside. Foothill AIDS Project.
Hello, everyone. It's Leslie Evans.
Thank you, Leslie.
Josh, could you change the secondary representative as well for us? We have Karina Vizcara.
Yes, I will send you a letter to update that. Or if you want to, you can use the link in the chat for the CoC membership application. Can also be used to update representatives.
Okay,
I'll send a letter either way though. Thanks for the update.
thank you.
High Expectations Development Corporation.
Hi, Josh. Nikisha here, present.
Thank you, Nikisha. His Daughter's House. Homemade Inland Empire. Inland Empire Harm Reduction.
Hi, this is Shireen and Audrey are present. Could we add another person for our proxy representative as well?
Yeah, just send me an email
Okay.
at coc@rivco.org.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Inland Empire Health Plan.
Hi, Josh. This is Ben. I'm here.
Thanks, Ben. Inland SoCal United Way.
Hi, friends. It's Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle. I also see that Lindsay with City of Marietta is here. She just reached out. Can you hear us, Lindsay? Jewish Family Services of San Diego. Labor of Love. Lake Elsinore Unified School District. Lamas Housing Project. Lighthouse Social Service Centers.
Lorenzo Maya, sitting proxy.
Yes, thank you, Lorenzo. I see you've attended the past like 5 meetings. I'll send you a letter too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Martha's Village. Oh, I'm sorry. Lutheran Social Services. Martha's Village and Kitchen.
Linda Barak here.
Thank you, Linda. Mary Erickson Community Housing.
Here, Ayako here.
Thank you so much. Mercy House.
Hey, family. Charles Chapman, president accounted for.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Charles. Molina Healthcare.
Oh, sorry, couldn't get off mute. This is Ozzy Anderson here from Molina.
Thank you so much. Mount San Jacinto College. Norco College.
Hi, Kimberly Thomas is here.
Thank you, Kimberly. Looking forward to your presentation. Operation Safe House. Path of Life Ministries.
Hi, Chris Oberg here.
Thank you, Chris. I think I saw Leonard too on here. ClearWorks. Riverside Community College District. Riverside County Sheriff Hot Team. RUHS Behavioral Health.
Christopher Salazar present.
Thank you, Christopher. Riverside Unified School District. Romoland School District. Shelter from the Storm.
Good afternoon, Angelina Co here.
Thank you, Angelina. Silence Allowed.
How about I know how to change my name?
I'm sorry.
This is Amir King with Silence Allowed. My account name still says Kanisha's name because I'm using her laptop.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And I did get that update from Kanisa too.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Step up on second.
Hi, this is Alina Gomez. I'm representing Step Up today.
Can you send this an email to coc@ribco.org? I think I've seen you on the attendance for past meetings as well.
Yeah,
Again, apologies to
Christina Esparza. I think she was the last representative, but I'll send the email.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, and I apologize for any out of date information on this.
Josh, really quickly, Ivan from CBAG is also here. He wrote in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Angelina.
You're welcome.
Good teamwork.
Transgender Health and Wellness Center.
Nell Smith present.
Thank you now.
Thank you.
Turn Behavioral Health Services.
Yes.
US Vets.
Mike Kester here.
Thanks, Mike. US Vets.
US Vets
I'm sorry,
here.
for
It's
turn Mike
US
Kester's
Vets. Keith Wainwright.
Keith Wainwright.
Yes.
I've also seen you on some of the attendance lists. I'll send you a letter as well.
Thank you.
VA Loma Linda Healthcare.
Hey, Josh, Oscar Ramirez here.
Thank you so much. And Valley Restart Shelter. All right. Wow, we have a lot of voting members now. This is fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
Ashley, I see your hand up. You're here. All right.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Of course. Thank you
And
all.
Lisa Evans, sorry, and Lisa and Leslie. I'm sorry, Leslie Evans is here from Foothills AIDS as well.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you all so much. We definitely have quorum.
Thank you so much. You know what, I think back to a couple of years ago to what our membership was and what it is now. It is so exciting to see so many people at the table. And I think we really want to, give a shout out to the HWS team who worked hard to make sure that we could maintain remote meetings for Continuum of Care. Our Board of Governance is required to meet in person because of Brown Act requirements, but the county staff worked with county council and we worked as a team to try to preserve these remote meetings. And I think it's really helped to maintain a large membership because the county is so big. And I hope you guys also are finding that it's easier for you to participate remotely. In-person meetings are great, and we will definitely have some of those as well. But it's nice to see such an increased number of people at the table. So thank you all so much. Keep getting the word out. We're stronger together, more people. So anybody that you think should be at the table, please make sure you invite them. Let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item, Josh. Okay, so for the consent items, we're going to table this to the next meeting. And I do want to give a shout out to Josh. He's pinch hitting because he has a lot of other responsibilities because he does carry program administration now, but he also jumped back in to support the continuum of care. So Josh, you've been doing an incredible job juggling everything that you're juggling. You make it look easy. So with that, we're going to go ahead and table this item until the next continuum of care meeting. At this time, members of the public may address the continuum of care for items that are not on agenda. You have 3 minutes for your public comments. Going to open up the floor. But Josh, let me ask you, did we receive any written public comments?
No, we did not.
We did not. Okay. The floor is open. Does anybody have any public comments that they would like to enter into the record? Hearing none, we can move on to the next agenda item. Okay, one of my favorite pieces of the agenda each month, which is the Leadership Spotlight, and I am extremely excited to introduce Kimberly Thomas. She's the Supervisor of Basic Needs and Wellness of Norco College, and I just want to tell you, this lady is a rock star, and Monique and I can tell you that when we were looking to try, just as an example, one of the many things that they do at Norco College is do everything they can to try to help our homeless students, many of which are in the TAY category, transitionally aged youth. And so we asked Kimberly if she'd be willing to use the college as a deployment center to conduct, to increase our opportunities for a homeless youth count. And she didn't even hesitate. So Kimberly, I just want to thank you for being such an amazing team player. And I'm so excited for the rest of the members to hear about all the cool things that you guys do at Norco College. So without further ado, take it away.
Wow, thank you for such a wonderful introduction, Karen. And hello to everyone. I'm excited to be here and talk a little bit about Norco College and about the Basic Needs and Wellness Program. Let's see here. Are you going to put my PowerPoint up for me, or do you want me to share it?
I can share it if you'd like to, or if
Oh,
you'd
Joshua,
like to, feel free.
Okay, let me see. Technology is always the challenge of these meetings, isn't it? Let's see
All too
here.
familiar.
It's up on my screen.
Yeah, it's up on my screen too.
Oh, okay, great. All right. All right. So first off, I just want to say hello to everyone again. Again, my name is Kimberly Thomas. I am at the prestigious Norco College in Norco, California, and we are part of Riverside Community College District. And one of the things that, if you are like me, I didn't actually know until I took this position several years ago, was that Norco College is a standalone college and part of a district. So although we are part of the RCC district family, our college does stand alone all by itself. And so we offer a variety of support services that are unique to our campus and that are part of a system of care that the state of California has put together to help community college students hopefully live their best lives. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our center and about how we're funded and the services that we offer. I'm going to see here if I can figure out what you're seeing, because I am not seeing it and I feel a little blind.
We see the
Okay.
slide that has Senate
Now
Bill
I see it.
129. Okay.
Yes. Okay, great. All righty. So Senate Bill 129 was created in 2021, and it gave every community college a basic needs center. And it required that not only were the colleges required to have a center, but they were also required to staff it and put people in place that would be able to help students. And so I am part of that funding. And I like for people to see what the primary responsibilities I have. I'm supposed to coordinate activities with financial aid, identify support systems for students on and off campus related to housing, food, mental health, and other basic needs, transportation, resources, all that kind of stuff. And then a huge part of my job is to develop on campus, but mostly off campus partnerships and advocate for our student needs, especially around homelessness. And then finally, I'm supposed to make sure that students know how to access CalFresh and other public service benefits. We'll move on to the next one. Alrighty, so I love this quote because it talks about a lot of what our students face and a lot of what young adults generally face overall. The person said when they were asked about, like, what are the barriers and what's going on in your life that makes things different? They say, you're just not bootstrapping yourself. I hand you my broken and worn bootstraps and say, I've tried for so long, said Esther. We've all tried for so long. And at a certain point, it's not about the boots, it's about the ground we're standing on. And that is a primary reason that Norco College and all the community colleges in the state of California have basic needs and wellness centers. About 3 out of 5 community college students will face basic need insecurity, and that'll be around 40% will not have enough food to eat. At the community college, about 30% at the four-year universities, and then about 48 students will have housing insecurities, and about 14% of every student in the community college system will be homeless. And the gap between the black and white people of color is about 16 percentage points higher. Let's go on to our next slide. And so, what I do here at Norco College, I am a one-stop center, which is really fun, and it has taught me a lot about how to serve individuals who come in need. The goal of our center is to provide students with support, and they don't have to go anywhere else. Now, does that mean that I provide all that support? No, no. I couldn't do it all by myself. But what it does mean is that I am able to connect people, students, to the things that they need. And it could be tax preparation, it could be mental health services, it might be textbooks, transportation, resources, especially around parenting students, utility assistance. We partner throughout our community to make sure that when students come into our office, and I want to say it's not just students. Our office really keeps the community in the community college, because often we get individuals that will come onto Norco's campus who are not students. And our job in the center is to provide them with resources that they need, so that they can find whatever it is or solution to what was their initial reason for coming on the college's campus. So I will have individuals that come to the campus that are not students at all, and we do not turn them away. We try our best to help them and meet their need. If we can't provide the resource, we work to connect them to what it is that they need. Thank you. We're going to move on to our next slide. All righty. Basic need insecurity. A lot of individuals ask, like, Kim, what does that mean? What do you do? A lot of my work is focused around food, housing insecurity, and homelessness. And there are a lot of definitions across the spectrum for what food insecurity is, what housing insecurity is, and what homelessness is. And we generally use those that are definitions that are related to the education code. So food insecurity means that you have limited resources. You may not know where your next meal is going to come. Often the challenges around hunger affect your ability to be a good student and to focus on your studies. So it's something that we work, it's a primary focus of our job here on campus, is to make sure our students have enough food to eat. The second area that we work in is housing insecurity. And the way we define housing insecurity, meaning that you may not know where you are going to stay from night to night. You don't have a fixed living situation, or you are in a state where you really don't have enough money to pay your rent from month to month. And homelessness, we use the McKinney-Vento definition, and we use that primarily to certify our students that are 26 and under as independent students and that they're housing insecure. It maximizes their financial aid, and also it gives them the opportunity to bypass some things that can be difficult for them to provide. Uh, a couple of years ago, especially prior to the pandemic, the issues around homelessness were difficult for students to address. There wasn't really a set standard, and often students had to prove that they're homeless, which can be very difficult. Like, am I supposed to take a picture of the park bench that I stayed on, the tent that I'm sleeping in, the person's couch, or the garage that I'm staying in? It was very difficult for individuals to prove that they were homeless. Now we have a set of standards, questions that we can ask that address the homelessness, and students don't necessarily have to bring in any type of physical documentation or paperwork that is used to prove that they're homeless. Pretty much, you say that you're homeless, we take you at your word. And we move to provide resources and support systems to address that homelessness. On to our next one. All righty. So this year for 2023, this was the first year that the Basic Needs and Wellness Center was in place. And I don't know about you, a number of the people who are on this call, I'm sure you have started up programs. And there are two elements to starting up programs that are really fun. First off, finding out what your community needs and putting those things in place. The second part is providing all the documents, learning all the paperwork, and all the systems to make that stuff possible. And so the first part was really easy. Students came in, they told us all the things that they needed. We did little focus groups. We had students provide input. We did surveys and whatnot, and we started providing services. The other part of that is doing all the paperwork, the documentation, building those relationships, and that took some more time. And that was a little bit more time consuming, and we are still working on those systems. A lot of what we do in our program, as I've already said, is provide food. And I think across campus, I'm probably known as the snack queen because I have implemented about 4 different snack stations. And I think that snacks are a vital part of our students' existence. A snack is anything that does not require refrigeration or a microwave or some kind of heating device for students to have. And so we have locations throughout campus where we provide snacks that students can just come and get. We don't ask any questions. They can come get a bottle of water. They can come get chips. I'm working on providing not just sweet and salty, but providing a little bit more healthy snacks and also addressing our students who may have celiac disease, the gluten-free diet, our vegans and vegetarians, making sure that we have options for them. We're getting a little bit better about it, but that was a little bit more challenging. But we do have typical candy chips, and then we have some of the healthy items, Kind bars, granola bars, anything that's easy, self-sustainable, that, like I said, doesn't require refrigeration or a heating. So those are all across campus, and they're easy for students to come get. We also do grocery distribution, and grocery distribution involves providing fresh produce and eggs and honey, and that was done twice a month on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And again, it's really easy for students. We set up a table, they can come get those items, and we pass them out until they're gone. We also partnered with various food banks, and they were able to come on campus and help us with those activities also. So they may have packed a box of different items and brought them onto campus. Some of our partnerships were extremely meaningful. I can't tell you how much students appreciated being able to get free milk, free diapers, eggs, honey, produce that some of them had never experienced before, like bok choy. We had all kinds of berries, melons, just all kinds of things, seasonal fruits that were brought onto campus, and they were just given out to students for free. We also provided specialty events for our parents, men of color, foster youth, Emotion, other community organizations, our veterans on campus. And then we give students meal cards. And we also, the meal cards are worth, for the spring semester, they were about $360, and that provides 36 meals for about $10 a piece. And then students can come into our office at any time and ask for a meal card, and that's about valued at somewhere around $10. So that's kind of what we do around food. In terms of housing insecurity, we do provide our students who find themselves homeless for a variety of reasons. We do have limited resources to offer our current students a hotel stay. And this is something that has been one of the most meaningful services that we can provide to our current students, but it's also one of the most difficult ones. A hotel stay averages about $3,000 per month at a local hotel in the Norco area. And this year we were able to house 15 students with 5 partners, 16 children, and 4 pets. And that's been really rewarding to be able to offer that. We also partner with our county and other organizations to work on providing our students with housing vouchers, Section 8 assistance, and other supportive programs. I saw my colleague on here from Path of Life, and 2 of our students through our partnership with Riverside Community College were able to receive supported housing that was provided through Path of Life. And then as a last resort, we have some students that just aren't able to stay in a hotel that we can provide, or they just need, sometimes we have students who need a place that is safe for, say they're doing visits with their children who are part of the DPSS service. And in order for them to do a visitation, they have to have a specific location. We might give that student Airbnb cards, or we have students who have a very short-term need, maybe 2 to 3 days, definitely less than 7 days. We will provide them with an Airbnb gift card, and they're able to find their own housing and take care of that. And we provided 4 of those this year. In addition to those services, we provide ancillary services for our students, and this is direct aid to students. We gave about 2,500 away in Amazon cards. Our Airbnb cards were valued at 2,500. Arco gas cards, $5,000. Visa debit cards, $5,000. And again, we talked about the food cards that were valued at $320. We gave out $38,000 worth of food in direct aid to our students. Now, a number of individuals have asked, like, Kim, where do you get this money? And I got to tell you, the state of California has been very generous. And also, we had some savings from different programs, and we got some additional funds from COVID. And so I'm not exactly sure what my budget will look like next year, but we will be providing many of these services. They may not be at the same level we provided them last year, but we do plan to continue them. And then on to our last couple of slides here. Our partnerships. As I said before, a lot of what I do isn't about me doing it or my team of students that I work with that do the work. It's really about my partnerships within the community. On the previous slide, it showed our partners who did the time and count with us, who came. That was one photo from the group that was here on one night. And then many of our other partners are from the county of Riverside. CalFresh comes out to our college about twice a month. They bring the van sometimes. Sometimes they bring the machine where they can print cards right on site for our students. We partner with the state of California to provide our students with opportunities to apply for California's low-cost auto insurance. And we work closely with our sister schools. Riverside Community College has the HIP grant. And like I said before, we had 2 students who received that grant, and that grant was substantial. It moved them out of the hotel into permanent supported housing for about a year. And the picture that's on this slide is 2 of our students sitting down with our partners from Riverside County Public Services when they were out talking about SNAP benefits and other benefits that the county provides. Our next slide shows my team of students. That was our parent event for our spring fling. We had the Easter Bunny come and celebrate with us. And those are most of the students that I work with over this year. And they do a lot of the work in the office. They greet our students when they come in. They are knowledgeable about community resources. Most of them are college fellows through the state of California. They receive a stipend to provide the support in our office. And we do also have some work study students and some student workers that we pay for out of our budget. But for the most part, our program is developed and ran by our students, and they do all the hard work. If you had, if you wanted to contact me, if you go to our next slide, that has all my contact information on it. I'm one of those new people. I don't keep a real business card on me because I find that for the most part, people don't really want them that much anymore. So if you use my High business card there, you can scan that. It has all my information on it. And I hope I didn't take up too much time, but that is the gist of the services that we provide here at Norco College. And if you wanted to know what Norco College is known for and what our primary service is to the community, our college has an excellent state-of-the-art STEM program. We partner with NASA for our students to do direct work in aviation and other areas. We have a pre-nursing program. We also have a number of apprenticeship programs, electrician, construction, um, just a whole bunch of different things to help students. And this year, I'm really excited. We are starting the Fresh Success Program. So students that qualify for SNAP benefits will be able to come to Norco College and get additional support and towards their career goals and a bunch of other really neat things that we have in the works. I was really excited to be able to provide this information to you. I hope I didn't talk too fast and I hope you understood me. There's just one last thing that I want to share. Over the last couple of weeks, we have had a number of students come to Norco, a number of individuals from the community come to Norco College looking for our hotel voucher program. And I want to say that although we've been able to access and provide hotel vouchers to students that are current students, we don't actually have a hotel voucher program. And so if you come across young adults who happen to be homeless, you can send them to Norco College, and I will definitely do my best to service them, connect them with other services in the community. Monique is one of my best friends. I think I have her on speed dial. I contact her often, and she provides me with a wealth of resources for individuals who are that transitional age. But we don't necessarily have yet. I'm hoping that will be something that we are able to expand in the near future, but we don't really have a hotel voucher program. So if you have individuals who are not part of our current college community, we are not able to just offer them a hotel stay. And so, especially if they aren't already connected to the college. So I did want to share that as my last little bit so that we won't, we had somebody come up from Orange County this week who had been told that I would be able to give them through the college a hotel voucher. And I felt so bad. I was able to give them lots of other things, including a nice hot shower, food, a couple of clothing items, a number of different pantry items that they could take with them, but we weren't able to provide them with any temporary shelter. And we work with some other organizations to take care of that need, but we don't offer that here at Norco College. So at this time, I am open to taking a few questions if we have a few more minutes. Otherwise, I thank you for allowing me to share. It's a pleasure to be part of this group. And Karen has been just instrumental in helping me find additional resources in our community. And overall, the CoC has been invaluable to the work that we do here at Norco College. So thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Nice job. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you again. So nice to see such a wonderful community partner doing just a massive amount of work for students in college, and love to hear all the different educational programs that you guys have available. It's really exciting. Josh, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. New business. All right, let's start with 5.1. We have Marcus Dillard, and he's going to tell us about the exciting Rivco 100 demonstration.
Outstanding. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. So thank everyone for the chance to speak today about the Rivco 100. As many of you might already know, there's a great deal of work being done centered around supporting our displaced community members. Each of our county agencies and the continuum of care funded agencies have successfully and continue to work to deliver service to our most vulnerable. And there are not enough words that we can say to emphasize the appreciation for the work that each one of these agencies do each and every day. Understanding the gravity of this work, our county leadership team had taken note of the individual successes and began to meet with the directors of various county agencies, to include HWS, Behavioral Health, and DPSS, to explore ways of challenging us to do more by putting our energy together to create an integrated approach to service delivery. These brainstorming sessions resulted in the Homeless Integrated Service Delivery Project and our very own RIVCO 100. The RIVCO 100 team is designed to connect individuals who experience homelessness and frequently utilize our healthcare and justice systems to housing and supportive services. Next slide, please. So in this effort, we have a target population, and that target population includes individuals who are homeless and frequently engage with health and justice systems, high mortality rates, disconnected from social supports, high rates of chronic and acute health conditions, legal challenges exist for coordinating care. Next slide, please. So we are starting this effort in the city of Riverside, and we're hoping to have this effort do well in the city of Riverside and be replicated throughout the county. So right now we're working in tandem with the city of Riverside and their efforts to start this initiative that we've kicked off. Next slide, please. So when we started this project, we had to create a prioritization list. So we identified 100 individuals that fall into the category that we listed before. We prioritize 20 individuals at a time. In prioritizing them, we establish a care coordination plan for each one. We have client engagement that is happening every Tuesday and Thursday. And then we provide housing and service linkage for these individuals. Next slide, please. So the project team members include the crisis response intervention services, the CalFresh team. It includes the behavioral health therapist, mobile psych team, the emergency treatment services, our HWS team, of course, DMV, the VA, big thanks to them as well, HSTAP as well through DPSS, HHOPE, of course. Their program is assisting, and then of course the coordinated entry system is helping as well. So it is a very robust team that is helping with the supports. We also have individuals helping us that are from the law enforcement agencies to help us support some of the individuals as well. Next slide, please. The next step for this team was to launch, which we did launch effectively on June 5th. We've been going strong for 3 weeks now. We're leveraging existing resources within RUHS Behavioral Health, HWS, and Adult Protective Services. And we're analyzing data and ongoing reports to determine the extent to which additional investments are needed. So this is something that we're continuing to do as we go through this process. And then we are identifying potential resources and funding streams to sustain and replicate this program across the county. I believe that is the last slide. If we have any questions, feel free to ask. I will turn it back over to Karen at this time. Thank you.
Well, that's a lot. That's really super exciting. Marcus, let us know, the rest of the community partners in the cities, what we could do to support you guys. This is like absolutely amazing, and we just are super excited to see the county's leadership, and you did a super great job on the presentation. Greg, did you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, I just want to add, great presentation, Marcus. I appreciate all your work on this. I just wanted to add that this is a real partnership too with the city. The city of Riverside has been fantastic as far as partnering with us through their outreach work and the other sources that they have. So we really are looking at this as a model to take across the county, further enhancing the partnerships we have with our cities.
Tanya, did you have something you wanted to mention?
Yes, and I'm sorry if this was already mentioned, but I wanted to make sure that all of you knew that we were very intentional in our efforts to try to streamline and make sure that we're all working together as one big giant team to incorporate agencies or grantees that receive continuum of care funding. So Path of Life and Step Up on second are examples of some of the community-based organizations that provide street outreach services and are part of the weekly coordination meetings and are going out with the teams to try and provide targeted services to the individuals that are part of the highest utilizers list. So as Marcus said well, we definitely want to pilot this in the city and try to replicate it across the region. This is very much intended to target the visibly homeless that you see across the region, that oftentimes, right, it can feel like, we're not able to get to quickly enough. This is really an effort to provide a targeted response. And so my hope is in the weeks ahead, as we really begin to build momentum and dedicate more time and effort, that we'll begin to see a reduction in the number of vulnerable adults that we're seeing on the street, especially in this region. But again, our goal is to replicate it. And of course, we appreciate everyone's partnership on this effort.
Great leadership, you guys. Does anybody have any? Oh, Michelle, yes.
No, I just want to say great presentation, Marcus, and thanks for Tanya, Marcus, and Greg, your leadership. It's been very helpful to have all the county partners working right alongside one another and being able to prioritize individuals and kind of brainstorm on how we can help folks. So we really appreciate it and looking forward to continuing our MOU with the city and county.
Well, I think it's a theme we should repeat again and again and again, and that is that a systems-oriented, coordinated approach works. That's how you move the needle, and especially the highest barrier, hardest to serve. So this is super exciting. Thank you guys so much. No other questions or comments. We'll move on to the next agenda item. At Home Coalition for Accountability, we have the lovely and amazing Tanya Torno.
Thank you. I don't know why that makes me nervous, but good afternoon, everyone. Again, I know I just spoke, but with that introduction, I had to chuckle. I'm here today to talk to you about a initiative that you previously received information on from Greg Rodriguez, who is not only with our HWS team, but also represents the Board of Governance as our secretary. In March and April, he previously presented on CSAC's at-home plan, and I'm going to try my best to bring back some of the pieces that he highlighted. I don't know that I'll do it to the best that he can, but I'll do my absolute best. CSAC stands for the California State Association of Counties, and is essentially a coalition of the 58 counties across our state who, through this coalition, are working together to help advocate for additional resources and coordinating services, right, to the hundreds of thousands of residents that we have across our entire state. As part of this advocacy, CSAC developed what is known as the At-Home Plan, and is a 6-pillar plan designed to make true progress in effectively addressing homelessness at every level, right, across the state, across each county, and ultimately across, making recommendations even at the federal level. If we advance to the next slide, you'll see that I'm going to be going over the 8 tenets that fall under the at-home plan accountability pillar. And again, I'm revisiting these, and I singled these out because Riverside County, during its Board of Supervisors meeting on April 18th, adopted or basically signed on to CSAC's at-home plan. And by doing this, right, basically that they are committing or recognizing that these 8 tenants provide a valuable tool, or I should say tools, to really help us coordinate services across our region. So I'm going to be revisiting those very quickly. And what I want you to keep in mind as I'm going through with these is that CSAC is now looking for continuums of care. So us as a membership body to mirror what the county did on April 18th and say, we agree that these are good tenants that not only counties, but CoCs should follow to ensure that there is accountability and coordination happening across the state. And so going through the first one, you'll see that a main emphasis here is to ensure that counties across the state have some kind of homeless action plan, right? That we're not just trying to do the work without having what we describe as a roadmap that serves as our guide or as our Bible to help us sort of track and monitor goals and also direct future investments. Each of you know, and many of you played a critical role in helping us develop and adopt our local homeless action plan. We did that last year. We were ahead of the state, and I know Greg is always reminding us that in many ways we're like 10 steps ahead. And so I think it's important to note that this first tenet is really just recognizing that everyone needs to do this across the state. Riverside County, we just want to give ourselves a huge thumbs up because we did that well before it was sort of, being recommended. The second tenet really speaks to ensuring that any future funding that comes to address homelessness should be managed by a county or city department. So some kind of government entity. And again, that speaks to the accountability piece, making sure that as local governments receive that funding, they're right. The important piece is that they're coordinating it with the other services and funding streams that they get, whether it be public health, behavioral health, through the Department of Social Services, to really make sure that, right, we're looking at homelessness through a wide system of care lens. The third tenet speaks to transforming the HHAP program, which stands for Homeless Housing Assistance Program. This is the state funding source that we use each year to fund a lot of activities such as street outreach, emergency shelter. Many of your agencies receive HHAP funding through the CoC. And so we especially like this tenet because, right, what this is really speaking to is advocacy to make sure that HHAP isn't just a one-time funding source that we're like crossing our fingers on year after year to see if we're going to get. But it recognizes that, right, we need a permanent state funding source to fund all of these programs. We shouldn't have to pray under the covers every night, wondering if we're going to get it next year and if we're going to be able to continue our programs. The four, and I don't know if everybody prays under their sheets. I'm sorry for that example, but hopefully that made you laugh. The fourth tenet speaks to, right, what many of you have really held us accountable to is we need to make sure that we are funding initiatives that lead to real outcomes. So again, it's sort of setting the standard that, right, as a coalition, if we're going to fund entities, if we're going to fund initiatives, they need to be ones that really help people, and our data shows that are creating true changes. and reductions in homelessness. If we move on to the next slide, I'll review the last four. Number 5 speaks to HAP flexibility. We like state funding, sometimes a little more than our HUD continuum of care funding because it's flexible, right? We've been working with you, and I'll just use this example to really highlight the work that your continuum of care chair is doing. She posed the question, a few months ago to say, we're having a hard time recruiting landlords. Can we use HAP funding to incentivize landlords and pay rents in advance so that we can really negotiate move-in leases for our tenants? The state came back and said, wow, nobody's ever asked that, but yeah, go ahead, pay landlords in advance. And so through that, effort, we've been able to secure or have more landlords sign up. So we like the flexibility of HAP. We want that to continue. And Karen, thank you for asking those questions, and all of you for, prompting those questions that we can forward up to the state.
Yeah, we asked for 12 months.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 12 months worth of housing assistance in advance.
Who knew, right? Like that's a huge carrot for a landlord to be able to get that money up front. The 6th tenet speaks to, right, all these different, actually all of you guys that have received funding through the continuum of care will appreciate this, because we have so many different grants with so many different start dates and end dates. The idea here is that there would be alignment across all of those programs so that we could better, right, coordinate those performance periods. 7 speaks to the multi-year terms of HAP recipients. Once we know HAP is going to be a permanent funding source, which we spoke to earlier, we'd like for it to be multi-year, because we recognize it's hard to put all this effort to launch a program for 1 year and then again worry about, well, what's going to happen next year to my staffing and to my clients. We need multi-year grants. And the last tenet, number 8, speaks to making sure that we're working with both counties and cities to cite areas within their jurisdictions to create more shelter, permanent supportive housing, and other safety nets like behavioral health services that individuals need. So these are the 8 tenets under the at-home accountability pillar that if you move forward to the next slide, you'll see that we included a recommended motion to support these. Basically, what that does is, right, it tells CSAC that we agree these are good. And again, they're encouraging other CoCs to also sign up so far. I think they've had 2, and they just started reaching out to us within the next 2 weeks. If you, the continuum of care, agree to move this forward, I just want you to know there is one additional step. It would go through this membership body, and then next to our continuum of care board of governance meeting. The next scheduled meeting is in August for final review and approval. At this time, I just want you guys to know we're very interested in hearing from you, hearing your feedback. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. I know Greg is here as well. Thank you.
Okay, we have Carol.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is there anything in the plan that addresses the collaboration of larger organizations with smaller organizations? Because one of the things that I think is very powerful is when you do have that combination applying for grants. And one thing I notice is that a lot of times the larger organizations are not necessarily reaching out to smaller organizations who don't qualify for some of the larger funding opportunities, but it would be very powerful if they did collaborate with some of the small ones. I don't know if there's anything in there that addresses that, but that's my question.
You want me to take this, Tanya?
Sure, Greg. Thank you.
There's not specifically, Carol, the at-home really addresses a government response. So really looking at what the county, state, and local cities' roles are and the collaborative efforts amongst that. What we did within like our action plan and what other action plans have done is talk about that community collaboration, leveraging resources between your point, larger CBOs and smaller ones as well. So it's not specifically in the at-home plan, but through the action plan that we have, we do address that.
Thank you.
And Carol, just to expand, although not directly tied to CSAC, is that during our CoC updates, I'm sure Emma will highlight some additional funding that we have to build capacity across CBOs and other organizations that are interested in doing this work, but may need, whether it's technical assistance or just additional financial assistance to be able to get to that level, to be more competitive and have the administrative capacity to carry out some of the grant funding that you talked about. And I speak on that only because, one, definitely appreciate your comment, and I know a lot of us have really talked about how we can make sure that we're growing and expanding the number of organizations that we have at the table, because we know you bring value. You know the region that you're in. Clients are already engaged with you for services. So I just am making that note that there is more information to come about a funding opportunity to do that. So more to come.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Just going back to Carol's question, is there a way that I don't know if we have an existing roster of all the CoC members or contacts and what the agencies do, so that way we can then just, when we're not in meetings and we're back in our offices, we can, reach out to one another if we want to collaborate or partner on different initiatives and grants.
Love that. Yes, we can absolutely do that. I'm thinking we can post that on our Continuum of Care page in the same way that we have our Board of Governance roster. We could create a similar document that has our CoC membership roster with each member's name, the agency they represent, the point of contact. Great suggestion, Michelle, and open to any others that folks have.
And Tanya, on that, it might be nice to Michelle's point too, is just a really brief description of main services provided. I love that suggestion, Michelle. It's great.
And we do, with the membership application that we send out, and I linked, we do ask for that information from new members so we can have that available, which is useful now. But I think maybe even sending out a survey to capture this information from those who have been members for a long period of time would be really useful. And then we can start building that information and disseminating it from there.
Not to get too far in the weeds, Josh, and we'll do this online, but that's a great idea, because I need to get information on what some of our agencies, how they could actually be vendors basically for IHP and Molina as enhanced care management. So I'll work with you, Josh, we'll do an email on that.
Awesome. Okay, Carol, I think you asked your question correct. Your hand is still up, and I think Robin has her hand up. So, Robin?
Hi, everybody. On top of Michelle's suggestion, was wondering too, when I do my resource guides, I try to add sort of kind of like the stipulations. So for example, if you want to go to Salvation Army, you have to be sober for this long, or, just like a really quick one-liner. It really saves time for, frontline staff when they're in search of the right place. So.
Yeah, I think we can definitely add that. I think that's good. And I can think of organizations that only serve veterans or, transitional age youth. So we can definitely kind of make a note of things like that stand out to make it easier to navigate.
And Tanya, if it makes it easier for you guys, if we did some kind of where people can add their information to a online electronic document, if that helps you guys, if there's pieces of information that you guys don't have to save you guys time, that might help. You know, just a link and then people go in and update their information.
I think we've run into some issues with IT at the county security wise, so.
Yeah, I think there's several things we need to work through internally to like figure out what would be the best medium to use to display the information. Because there are some challenges with our website too, but we can regroup internally to figure that out.
Anybody else? Linda?
Yeah, I have always found it's very helpful to have a point person, a reference to a point person. If an agency does multiple things, you kind of bounce around and yell down the well and nobody hears you. Many years ago, believe it or not, I did work for the county for a year. Too many potlucks for me, bless their hearts. But the thing is if they do various things, it would be good to have a point person, or with the help of different organizations, if they would go in and maybe have a hub person that is the hub when you call in and they kind of disperse what's needed or what the question is. It just is really helpful and you don't get lost in the, you know, number of people and who's responsible.
All great suggestions, everybody, for HWS for getting updated information about sharing information. We do have an action on the table, so I'd like to bring us back to the agenda item as HWS is requesting us to take action. We have a recommended motion to support the California State Association of County at-Home proposal of a comprehensive plan to address homelessness. So Tanya's asking us to take action. Do I have any objections or abstentions, and anybody that's willing to motion for approval?
This is Charles Chapman with Mercy House. I want to make the motion for approval.
Do I have a second?
This is Ben Howdiggy. I'll second that.
Any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, the item passes. Good job, county team. You know, before we, you may cover this, Greg, in your legislative update, but I understand that the governor's office has trailer bill language that I thought I had heard might want to limit HHAP funds to initiatives that are connected only to state programs, not necessarily allowing for local flexibility for HHAP. Had you heard that?
No, but I am going to cover this.
Okay, just
that's not part of it. So
I'm not talking about the at-home plan. I'm talking about the governor's office. Yeah.
The trailer bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover that. So.
Okay. All right. Okay, moving on. Agenda item 5.3, Brain Health USA and Nile Wellness presentation. We have Lorene McHale, who is a psychiatric nurse practitioner. Take it away.
Thank you, everyone. This is Lauren. We are part of Brain Health USA. It's a pleasure meeting all of you, and it's a grateful opportunity to explain to you what is it that we would like to introduce to the community. So I did have a PowerPoint presentation, so let me just see if we can share it. Okay, perfect. It's right here on the screen. So go ahead and let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so we're going to do an introduction, who we are, what we do, our program history, about the program, program duration, what we offer, and the power of forgiveness, and what is our aim. Next, please. Okay, so Brain Health USA is a leading mental health organization dedicated to providing comprehensive and compassionate care. We are a group of 125 qualified doctors, nurse practitioners, and psychologists. We work mainly in the state of California. We're committed to promoting brain health and well-being for individuals across the United States. So as we all see, mental health has been becoming a great dilemma for so many of our homeless population as well. So next slide, please. So we do have about 20 offices across California, and we are actually venturing out to 28 other states across the country. We are seeing between 800 to 1,200 patients on a daily basis for mental health. So we do have a huge number of team, and we serve quite a bit of people in mental health in the community. Next slide, please. So our expertise in outpatient mental health, we do mainly medication management and therapy. We specialize in various psychiatric services, creating to individual in ages and backgrounds. Our comprehensive approach encompasses adult, child, adolescents, geriatric, women, mental health, mood disorder and anxiety disorders, ADHD, eating disorders, grief, and trauma. We strive to provide personalized and evidence-based care to support the mental health and the well-being of each individual we serve. Next slide, please. So we started a very unique program. It's called Wise Women Program back in 2018. It was a nonprofit and vendor that we were doing, and we served the community in Egypt, Rwanda, and the Philippines for women that were sexually abused. And we were very pleased to tell you guys that we started off with 4 women back then in 2018, and now we're up to 1,800 women. And our program is doing very well and is very successful by offering mental health support, parenting classes, vocational training, and access to healthcare. The Wise Woman Program enables women and females to thrive, to understand communities. So let's go ahead and do to the next slide, please. We believe as a woman, it's they are the foundation of the home. So we feel like it would be very important to work with them and get them to be able to raise good children. So the program is for any mother with children or pregnant women. The Wise Mom Program is a comprehensive initiative designed to provide support to mothers who have experienced abuse, trauma, or adverse circumstances. Recognizing the vital role mother play in families and communities, our mission is to empower these courageous women, enabling them to not only heal, but also thrive as individuals and caregivers to their children and their families. Next slide, please. So our commitment to the community, driven by the dedication to making a difference, we established the Naya Wellness Foundation to actively address present community issues. In response to the homelessness emergency declared last year, we took an action to contribute and support those in need. We figured we're the largest mental health group in California. Why don't we give back to the community and see what we can do to help our moms, since our program was very successful in other countries. So as doing so, we acquired a 33,000 square feet property in the city of Hemet. It composes of 50 rooms, and we can easily house 50 moms with kids in that facility. Our vision was to implement the Wise Woman Program that we initiated in other countries and that we were very successful with. So we thought this would be a good opportunity, and we wanted to start off with the moms to further strengthening the communities and to serve them and fostering well-being for all of them. At Brain Health, we believe that mental health is essential, and we're committed in providing the highest quality care and support to these moms. Next slide, please. So we'd love for you guys to join our mission to promote brain health, empowering individuals and families, and create a brighter future for all. Next slide, please. So what is the program duration? Our program duration is going to be between 6 months to a 2-year program. It will depend on the assessment and the evaluation of each person and what is the goals and the treatment expectations. Next slide, please. So what we're going to be basically offering is we offer a holistic approach focusing on 4 major areas, which is health, education, spirituality, and psychological resilience. We aim to restore self-esteem, self-love, and change the perceptions, emphasizing the importance of mother as the bedrock of a home. Our program guide mothers on how to foster a nurturing and empowering environment, installing good values in their children, and equip them with the tools to navigate the challenges of life successfully. Next, please. So beyond emotional and psychological wellness, we also focus on skill development and income generation for these moms. We work meticulously to identify each mother's unique skills and talent, developing a plan to translate these skills into for them to increase their income. This process helps mothers discover their purpose, unlock their potential, and gain economic independence. Next slide, please. So basically what we offer, the program also impacts essential life skills, life effective time management, critical component for achieving balance and efficiency. We emphasize the accountability and responsibility that come with raising a child, acknowledging that each child is the future of our community. Next slide, please. We also take a huge role on recognizing the power of forgiveness and its all role in creating a better future. Through guided discussion, we help mother work through their past trauma, learn to forgive, and move forward with renewed hope. We equip with our mothers with the knowledge to know informed decisions and positively impact their lives and those of their children. So we don't really want them to continue to live as victims. We really want them to move forward and become empowered in what they can do, because we can't really change the past. We could only change the future moving forward. Next slide, please. Okay, so we emphasize workforce recognition and economics independence. We provide resources and opportunities to gain education or develop a skill, leading to sustain their income, reducing reliance or external help. We nurture the mother growth in all aspects of life, educational, professional, and personality. The psychological well-being for their benefits and their crucial role as mothers. So we really try to work hard in creating the psychological component of how important a mother would need to be to raise good children. Moving to the next slide, please. So our aim is the Wise Mom program aims to create a ripple effect in our community by empowering these mothers. We are indirectly empowering their children and our future generation. So basically, that's our program that we would love to put forward in the city of Hemet. Like I said, we already have a facility ready to house 50 moms, and we'll be able to help them in getting their life back together, basically. Let's see if we have another slide. So we're committed to making the world a better place, one mom at a time, by helping the mothers become confident, resilient, self-tolerant individual capable of raising strong and capable men and women. Next slide, please. And I'm open to any questions that you guys may have. I would love to answer it for you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the members of the Continuum of Care? Yes, Carol.
Thank you so much for your presentation. What's the first step in getting connected with you if we have folks that might benefit from your program?
Absolutely. Right now, we are in the process of receiving a certificate of occupancy from the city of Hemet. As soon as we get the green light from their end, we will go ahead and put together the program, and it will be available for everyone. That's what we're working on right now. We just decided to reach out to the community and see this is the kind of service we would like to offer as a mental health organization, and we can definitely see the need. And we believe that the importance of, mothers that were victims of, sexual abuse or crime, I believe that we have a really good chance in trying to help them raise better kids in their community.
So will we know through the continuum of care when you're ready to take referrals?
Absolutely. We will be more often in these meetings to kind of get updates and also, get the connection. I was very pleased today that there is actually a college, Narco College. We can be able to connect with them and some of the other programs that the city offers, so we can go ahead and connect our patients to them and vice versa. I think you guys can bring us patients that are in need so we can help them and house them and be able to get them on a better track.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like Greg has a
it's,
question. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll go ahead and put my contact information in the chat. So if you guys need anything, I'll be putting my cell phone as well as my our email, and you guys are welcome to reach out to me. But like I said, we're in the mercy of City of Hammett to get us going on this certificate of occupancy. And once we get it going, we'll be definitely helping out the community. Like I said, the program that we have done before in the past is very successful. We started off with 4 women. We now have 1,800 women, and we can see a huge impact on the kids. And I think for us, this is a very important, crucial part that we kind of grow more, better children in our future, rather than just kids that are lost because the mother is completely not able to take care of their children, either psychologically or mentally. We want to make sure that we're able to provide the best that we can to create a better future for them, because I think they're the future.
Awesome. It looks like Greg Snow has a question.
Not a question, just a kind of comment question. Welcome to the city of Hemet. I've been here my entire life, and something that is very, very, very much needed. You folks are going to be located on Devonshire, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, it's long awaited, but welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Carol, did you have another question, or is your hand still up from the last time?
No, I just haven't learned how to take it down.
Okay, no worries. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. We're excited about more resources in the region. Best of luck to you to get your COI and all the other pieces that are needed to bring the services to fruition. So thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item, standing items. So let's go to 6.1, coordinated entry system. Do we have Myrelle?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ron Cabazon, CES coordinator here with Behavioral Health. I am going to start off with the CES lead update report today. I'm not sure if we have it in the slide deck, doesn't look like it, so I'm going to go ahead and steal the screen if that's okay, just to show the report for the month of May. Okay, I hope everyone can see that okay. Off to a great start so far because I did not get disconnected yet. So as for the lead update report, there has been an increase in the number of calls made to the Home Connect line, as well as the VI data have been entered into Clarity. On the breakdown by city, there is a total of 750, if I remember correctly, as I make my way down. Yes, 750 clients that are placed on the queue. There have been questions regarding the cities that are listed. Just because there is no city listed does not mean that there is not a single client that is homeless in that area. It just means that based on the community queue and the data that is pulled from Clarity, there is no client that is reflected that is currently on the queue homeless in that area. The rest of the data is pretty straightforward. Are there any questions before moving on to some brief CES updates to share with you all? Yes, Michelle. Not
No,
sure.
Yeah, Michelle, we
Michelle,
can't
you're on
hear
mute.
you.
Sorry. Myrelle, you had made a comment about certain cities that may not be on here, that they haven't been placed on the community queue. Is that because they've done the VI app, but there's additional steps and moving them onto the community queue hasn't happened yet?
Correct. So I have seen I guess a trend that clients are being referred to the program instead of actually being referred over to the queue. I do try my best to keep up with it and refer them over to the queue, and stress to all users that the only way for CES to make a housing match is for the client to be on the queue and not referred to an actual program. So a lot of the times that is the case. Like I said, I do try to clean it up myself, but that is just a trend that I see.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? Did you have other materials you were going to cover?
Not materials, just some brief CES updates, if that's okay to share with the group. The first update I do have is more of news. Our administrator, as many of you may know, Angelica Orozco, she is no longer with behavioral health. Her last day was yesterday.
No, oh, I love her.
Yes, she left us to pursue new endeavors and a new journey in life.
Okay.
But yes, I did want to go ahead and share that with you all. The Home Connect HMIS Clarity Manual that Home Connect has been putting together is in the final stages and should be ready by the next CES Community Partnership meeting to share and go over with attendees. The user manual does cover everything from creating and managing households, program enrollments, to linking referrals to those program enrollments. We are super excited to share with all agency users as we do hear that it is a need, and it is always good to have on hand as well to always refer back to. The last update that I do have is something that will be implemented. Home Connect has noticed a huge number of clients that are not being exited from the CES program in Clarity where the client has been housed, and there is no need for the client to be enrolled in Clarity or remain on the queue. If that is needed. So in order to go ahead and ensure that clients are being exited from CES in a timely manner, there will be a report that is ran and sent to agencies to exit all clients that have been housed, whether that is from the CES program or both CES program and community queue. Home Connect is still working out the logistics as to the report being ran weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, depending on the need and the amount of exits. So once that is determined, we will definitely go ahead and share this update with all agencies. I do see a hand raised. Greg.
Hi, thanks, Maria. A little clarification on that. So those that are housed, they won't be exited from Clarity, correct? Just CES.
Correct. So the client, once the client information is entered into Clarity, their profile will stay in Clarity. However, the program enrollment will need to be completed from CES once the client has been housed.
Okay, I just, especially when it comes to like HIP reporting, it's just being able to know individuals that were housed even a year or 2 years ago. So
yes,
that's great. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Greg, that's important because some of us require our outreach case managers to case manage for a year after housing placement.
Yeah, I also too is it's just, I mean, I can get a request from a reporter any day that says how many people have you housed in the last 5 years. So
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for asking that.
The profile will remain in Clarity. This does allow to continue adding services as needed, like case management services and all that good stuff.
It just keeps CES a little cleaner then too, and manages the queue better, I imagine. So yeah, okay.
All righty, I don't see any more questions for me. So on that note, I will go ahead and pass it back to our lovely chair.
Thank you so much. All right, Tanya, if you're driving, let's go to the next agenda item. Agenda item 6.2, Board of Governance update. Just wanted to state that the last BOG update we gave to the continuum of care was at our May meeting because we had a special Board of Governance meeting on May the 15th. Our June Board of Governance meeting was canceled. The next Board of Governance meeting will be August the 17th. So there is nothing to update. So let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. 6.3, CoC and HMIS lead agency update. Emma, you are on deck.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. Next slide, please, Josh. Next slide. All righty. So YHDP project update. Our application was submitted on the 26th, and a huge shout out to Monique on our team, who's our homeless youth coordinator, Natalis, and everyone else who helped put this together. We are very excited and hopeful that this year is going to be the year. So just wanted to provide an update on that and let everyone know that we will be patiently awaiting HUD's notification and keeping our fingers crossed that it will be good news for us this year. Next slide, please, Josh. All right, so our department will be releasing a street medicine bid application in the next 1 to 2 weeks. We have approximately $1.7 million in HIP funding and are looking for medical professionals who can partner with our street outreach teams to coordinate medical care for our most vulnerable. So it is imperative that you are signed up on our listserv to receive notification of all funding availability coming through the CoC. That is the primary method that we disseminate this information. So if you are not included on our listserv, please drop your email in the chat or email the coc@rivco.org email so that you can get added to be included in this notification and any other future funding opportunities. Next slide, please. All righty, we've begun to prepare for the 2023 HUD Continuum of Care competition, which awards $13 million plus in funding to many existing projects and also creates opportunity for new housing assistance projects such as permanent supportive housing and rapid rehousing. Anticipated HUD release date for this RFP is between June and August, and it's anyone's guess when exactly it'll come out. There is sort of a poll out there just with a guess of when it'll be released between all of the different Southern California COCs. So whoever wins gets a two-person dinner from Joe Coletti. So you know, it's anyone's guess when it will be released. For this year's competition, the CoC would like to strongly encourage teams to be equipped with social work and clinical staff to provide ongoing case management services, which is directly connected to our teams reporting clients with more acute needs. Additionally, master leasing and partnerships with development and affordable housing projects are also strongly encouraged. Most of our projects are scattered site and involve providers recruiting landlords and identifying units for rent, which has really proven to be challenging. Our team can help facilitate some connections with developers and affordable housing projects in the pipeline, so please reach out if you are interested in assistance with that. Next slide, please. And just some quick announcements. The June staff report is getting ready to be published. That'll be sent out to all of our membership. Also, tomorrow we have our Housing First webinar in our multidisciplinary webinar series. So please, if you are available, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, and a team member will drop the flyer in the chat for us momentarily. Additionally, IHP is very interested in supporting the expansion of additional recuperative care beds within the county. So please help us spread the word. All interest and inquiries can be sent to Ben Howdegi with IHP, and I will drop his email in the chat. Next slide, please. And that is it. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any? Oh, Tanya, did you have a comment?
I just wanted to add on one more thing to our CoC updates. I know an email went out, but if you get a lot of emails, you may have missed this one. And I just think it's important in case anyone has an interest in joining our Continuum of Care Board of Governance. We have 4 vacancies that we are currently trying to fill, and at this moment we are seeking nominations for. So if any of you are thinking of supporting the Continuum of Care in this way, it's a great way to further influence policy and help support and make future funding recommendations that can really shape the future of our Continuum of Care. We are looking for nominations for 1 public sector seat, 1 private sector seat, 1 from a nonprofit. and one for a formerly homeless youth representative. I should note that the board members that whose seats have expired are being asked if they are still interested in moving forward. And if they are, they will be included in our ballot. But I wanted to use this time to recognize them for their time the last 3 years. Many of them have served for 3 years. Others have absorbed seats and finished seats for other members. But special thanks to Dr. Chang, Director of RUHS Behavioral Health, Bill Blankenship, an affordable housing developer, Susan Larkin. Many of you know and work very closely with Susan Larkin at Housing in Action. Very thankful for her service. And then Jasmine de la Trinidad, who is our formerly homeless youth representative. So thank you to all, and nominations are due at the end of this week. You would have received an email if you are a voting member from coc@rivco.org. Thank you.
So Tanya, the jury's still out. The members haven't confirmed if they're interested in rerunning, because I did have someone that asked me, they weren't sure if all the people that were listed actually said yes or no. So are you gonna?
We're still waiting to hear back. I can share on the ones that I've heard. So I can tell you that for the public sector seat, Dr. Chang has expressed an interest in throwing his name or running again. Bill Blankenship, who represents or currently occupies the private sector seat, is also very interested in running, and so will be included as a nominee. Susan Larkin has decided not to move forward. She is very thankful for the time that she has served in that capacity. And we will definitely have to find a way to celebrate her big, because I think all of us have seen and heard of her impact. And then we're still waiting to hear back from Jasmine, who is our formerly homeless youth representative.
Thank you. Very helpful. Any other questions or comments regarding the update from the HWS staff?
Karen, I did want to mention too, I'd be remiss if I didn't. I just wanted to let everyone know that we are super excited to announce that Natalie is back on our team and will be supporting us here at the CoC. So just, wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. And we're very excited to have him back.
Nice. Okay. We ready to move on to the next agenda item, team? 6.4 Housing Resource and Policy Update. Greg, let's hear all the great things that you have to share with us about legislation and policy.
Great. Josh, if you want to advance the slides. Next one. There we go. I'll start briefly, and I'll go through this relatively quickly. But on resource updates, so most of you know that the state had to approve a budget by today technically, and they basically came to agreement on Tuesday with an agreement. As far as around homelessness and housing, nothing really was added. There's been a couple reductions in actual home purchasing programs, not really significant. And then the $1 billion allocated to HAP funding, that was already, we already knew about that even last year. So that'll be round 5 of HAP funding, and I'll get into some technical stuff on the trailer bill language around that. And then there's also the governor's proposed reforms to the Mental Health Services Act, which is known as MHSA. It's going to now be the Behavioral Health Services Act, because it's incorporating substance use treatment in addition to mental health. The county of Riverside is still analyzing this bill, so is CSAC. There is some concerns that one of the biggest changes is that 30% of the money now needs to go towards some type of housing in behavioral health and substance use treatment, which is good in concept, but then you're taking away from other primarily prevention and early intervention type programming or other behavioral health programs that we already allocate those dollars to. So in a sense, it's almost like another unfunded mandate from the state for the county. As many of you know, and as Dr. Chang often tells, we already, due to realignment in 1991 and 2011, lose a leveraged funding of about $180 million a year around behavioral health. So the County Behavioral Health Department is analyzing the changes, and we'll see what kind of effect we'll have. The Executive Office and Behavioral Health and our department too will be meeting to discuss those and then see what our actions are as far as with CSAC or other counties. Next slide, Josh, please. So I'm going to deal with, first of all, the trailer bill language. I'll get to these in just a moment. Trailer bill language is basically when legislation is passed, and this is primarily around the HAP funding. The legislature and the governor will often, a bill will be passed, but then the trailer bill language really defines how that money is to be allocated, how it's supposed to be spent, and the proportionment and all that. Some of the major changes, and this trailer bill language was agreed to yesterday, and there are some concerns around it. I have been working with Bring California Home as well as CSAC on some accountability bills and language, trailer bill language. CSAC had their own trailer bill language that aligned more with the at-home plan. And then AB 799, which is on this bill, was a bit accountability measure. Originally, we wanted to have this as an ongoing funding measure, but we were told point blank by the governor's office that they weren't going to fund any additional rounds, so we changed it to accountability. What basically some of the major changes that come about, it does establish the round 5 at $1 billion. It maintains the existing ratios of distribution. So for the big cities, the continuous cares, and the counties. One concerning thing is it sets aside 17% as supplemental support for Project Home Key. So in a sense, it's reducing actual HAP dollars for other types of projects. And then it advances the redeployment of bonus funding. The bonus funding was taken away from prior rounds, but those will be done as supplemental HAP funding. And we're still waiting on the final language to determine how they're going to disperse that information. I think, Karen, to your point, around the ability for localities to have the more flexibility, it still provides that. I think maybe what you were hearing is that localities had to work in conjunction with counties or CoCs in order on the strategic action plan, which we did anyway through our action plan.
I was at Cal Cities, and there was a representative from the governor's office that said that they were still working on trailer bill language and that they were looking to, and this, I mean, this could be helpful depending upon where you stand, about some mandated sub-regional collaboration. Have you heard anything about that? So looking to try to mandate for cities to collaborate, which in our region, the cities are working to do that. So we're making good progress. I don't know.
So that's within the action plan that has to be submitted. Every HAP applicant has to have a strategic action plan submitted to the state. And within that action plan, there has to be language that refers to collaboration amongst the cities and the lead organization, which primarily is a county or CoC. But it's not mandating any particular type of activity that has to be done outside of this action plan.
So it sounds like what we're already doing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Another little concerning thing, I mean, it's not concerning in some sense, but you know, when the governor pulled back the HAP funding a while back ago, it was all about the metrics and how people weren't meeting them. And now in HAP language, they've taken all the metric requirements out. So there's supposed to be goals, but no set numbers. So another thing too is they're going to tie it to the housing element funding, which is a little concerning for us as a county. We're in our 4th iteration with HCD on our housing element, and it's simply because we have a very loud activist group that has delayed the implementation from the county. Knock on wood, I think between Mike Walsh and I and Transportation Land Management staff, we'll hopefully get that housing element through. In a way, I kind of agree with that because it will force other localities that don't build housing to actually start doing that as well. The other services that you're allowed to expend the funds on really didn't change. A real emphasis on permanent supportive housing as usual, which we really try to focus our HAP dollars on as well. So if there's any other changes, I'll let you know, but it sounds like this is what we're going to get. There is still real concern amongst CSAC, League of Cities, our department, and other homeless service organizations and advocates that there was no allocation of ongoing resources on an annual basis. There will be a housing bond that will come up, and I've got that on here. So I'll go through these really quickly. Michelle, do you have a question first?
Mine was more on, was there any discussion of a possible home key round 4?
I haven't heard anything yet. So, and I think what they'll do is probably what I have heard, Michelle, is that they're going to gauge what the level of interest is on round 3, and see if there is. You know what? And you know this. It's difficult finding cities that, I know you guys are all on board, but it's difficult finding cities, especially in this county, that want to give up a hotel property because of TOT, transit occupation tax. Sorry, and then. A lot of us people that are involved in home key projects are realizing they're pretty expensive. But that's what I hear, that they'll gauge interest on that. So going through these on the legislation update, AC1 is a bond vote threshold. So this would allow for public projects that like especially around affordable housing and stuff that for bond measures for development of those, they would only have to pass by a majority vote instead of the 2/3 vote. This may not get out of the legislature this year. This is a constitutional amendment vote. If it doesn't, there is SB 469, which specifically calls out bond threshold for a housing. So in either way, it looks like we'll get something that'll be on the March 2024 ballot. AB 1679 is a massive housing bond that'll also be on the ballot next year. We CSAC Legal Cities are supporting this. This would be essential, basically bringing back some type of somewhat of a redevelopment agency dollars, but at least it's definitely targeted bond funding. AB 79 I spoke to earlier about the HAP accountability. SB 4 is allowing for affordable housing pretty much by right on faith lands, so on church properties, as well as nonprofit colleges as well. This looks like it's going to get out pretty easily. It was in Senate committee today. And then Senate Bill 423 is an extension of SB 35. For those of you who don't know, SB 35 was implemented for by rights development of affordable housing. It had a sunset clause in it, which means it expired after a certain number of years. SB 423 would eliminate that sunset clause. And then that's a couple other minor changes to it. And then SB 225, it's an anti-displacement and preservation. As we know, we talk a lot about affordable housing development and new construction, but it's just as important to worry about prevention or preservation, I'm sorry. And then also dealing with displacement, primarily when a market rate developer wants to come in once the covenant has expired on an affordable housing development and displace renters there as well. And then Josh, next slide, and Karen, I'll get to you in just a second. On the federal level, I always say that nothing's going to happen on the federal level, and probably nothing will happen with these 3 bills this year. But Maxine Waters, who's our huge housing advocate in DC and luckily from the state of California, has introduced 3 bills around housing. These were in the Build Back Better plan that President Biden tried to pass. The first is the Housing Crisis Response Act of 2023. This will provide about $150 billion in affordable housing development. So again, a significant amount of actual construction dollars from the federal government. It also would create nearly 1.4 million affordable accessible homes, and around 300,000 households would be helped with that. The Ending Homeless Act of 2023, this would hopefully reduce poverty and ending homelessness significantly. And this would be by transforming the Housing Choice Voucher Program into a federal entitlement so that every household who would qualify economically would actually get a voucher. This is a game changer if this passes. Again, I'm not anticipating any action at all on this. It definitely would probably not, it might get out of the House if it went to a vote, but we are in election cycle and this is just not going to go through. And then the final one she has is the Down Payment Toward Equity Act. And this is really more about increasing homeownership and increasing familial wealth, again, and trying to address some of the racial inequality around homeownership in the country. And this would basically provide about $100 billion in direct assistance for first-time home buyers as well. So those are the major updates. Happy to take questions, Karen.
Yes, so always get excited when I hear some discussion about replacing the great loss from redevelopment. Do you happen to know, with respect to that bill, if it is structured to where there's direct allocations to local government, or are we going to have to claw and compete, because our counties don't always compete as well as some of the other counties when it's at the state for competition? Do you know?
Yeah, that language hasn't been finalized yet, and may not even be before it's even voted on, to be honest with you. We are definitely, we will definitely monitor this. I was on a call the other day with our legislative director, Carolina, from the county. That was the first topic that she brought up to me, was the housing bond and what type of distribution language needs to be in there so that we don't get penalized. Because if they do base it on current type tax allocation scoring, we won't be able to compete as well.
Exactly. Greg, do we need to be thinking about taking some action on if in terms of positions and letters, or what can we do?
Yeah, so the difficulty right now is there's nothing, because Supervisor Washington is chair of CSAC this year, is we can't really do anything as a continuum of care since we speak on behalf of the county that's in opposition or not supported by CSAC at this time. So CSAC is finalizing their support list, and we have supported a couple of the bills within our legislative platform, and I can get that out to the group. So
okay, all right, well, that makes sense. You got to do what you got to do. Just that's pretty important. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions for Greg? Thank you for keeping your finger on the pulse, Greg. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Next agenda item, the informational letters items. So we have 2 of the 3 reports that are available. The Policy Advocacy Committee report is not completed, but will be completed. So the other 2 are available in the Google Drive for you. We do not have any, didn't have any requests for letters of support, and we don't have any APR items on file. Next item. This time we can call for agenda items for the meeting in July. Does anybody have any suggestions for agenda items for the July meeting? You can always email those to coc@rivco.org if you have an idea between now and then. Does anybody have any announcements they would like to make?
Actually, Karen, if I can go back on agenda items, I don't know if you've lined up a presenter yet for that meeting, but we reached out a while back ago to the Desert Healthcare District about having them present on IE Connect, which is kind of like 211 on steroids. And it's a really valuable tool for a lot of service organizations like this. So if not one, I can reach out and have them do that.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll do.
Yes. That sounds great. Tanya.
I saw Michelle smile, so she like.
I wanted to take advantage of this time to make an announcement. I know that, or I believe that Angelina Co has signed off, and so we'll make sure to also send out an email to the entire continuum of care. But we learned through Angelina that David Leahy, who served as the Chief Financial Officer for the ABC Recovery Center and was instrumental in helping shape our continuum of care from the very beginning. And through his work at ABC Recovery, changed hundreds and thousands of lives, passed away on Sunday, May 21st. I know many of you worked directly with David. You knew him, you sat next to him pre-COVID when we used to meet in person. And so it is sad to deliver this news. And we just wanted to take this time to recognize him. Again, he was a champion in our community. He really set the foundation, helped develop the governance charter when we didn't even have anything to begin with. And I know Angelina Co, Susan Larkin, Linda Barak, and even Lynn Brockmeyer, who is no longer with us, but previously served as the H-Hope supervisor under behavioral health. In addition to others, were very, very close friends with him, and I know worked very closely with him, maintained a friendship with him, and so we send our condolences to them. And again, just wanted to use this time to recognize him. We'll also be sending out an email. We will miss you, David Leahy, our homeless advocate and friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to the last few slides. Does anybody else have any announcements? It looks like who's going to cover this?
I believe this,
here from, oh.
it was just an announcement that was shared. I believe it was also emailed through the CoC email that Liberty Village Apartments is looking for tenants.
Where is it located?
Beaumont.
Beaumont. Okay, beautiful. Awesome. Michelle?
Can you drop in the contact email address in the chat box for who we should reach out to for these units?
Sure.
Thanks.
I can also email you the information, Michelle.
Awesome. Thank you, Emma. I know we have our shelter providers that might have a couple veterans.
Okay.
Awesome.
You know what, Emma, too, I'm just thinking it would be nice if when like this one, as well as Monarch in Palm Springs also has their waiting list open, is if we create a link on our website as we get these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next item. Okay, no other items. Great meeting, you guys. Love the collaboration and the participation. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We're 10 minutes over, but I think it was worth every minute. So you guys have a good one, and we'll see you at the next Continuum of Care meeting in July, or if not sooner.
Right, and congratulations, Karen Roper and Corona, on your amazing new shelter. It's beautiful. I see there's so much pride and excitement around this wonderful resource. So congratulations.
Thank you for that. Yeah, we had our exciting grand opening ceremony, and we are up and running and serving many people. And Charles, who's on with us, he's the regional director. He has an amazing staff team that is doing a bang-up job at the shelter, and we're gearing up to start placements for the permanent supportive housing units and the rest of the program components. So it's pretty exciting to have more resources to help people. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really well done. Really very, very well done.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tanya.
No, I was going to say, Karen, as our CoC chair, I just want to thank you for always coming and bringing positive energy and helping us, work through all of the different agenda items. You always keep us focused and motivated. So thank you. And thank you, Michelle, too. You are key in helping us develop the agenda, making sure that, we have the right, speakers and topics being discussed. We can't do this work without you guys. Truly, thank you. Thank you.
Back at you guys. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, Michelle.
Take care, Charles. All right, you guys have a good night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.